Well, I had my waterproof creek boots on a while ago on that train trestle, but I don't think they're too waterproof anymore. Need a drink?
Hey everybody, you're watching Sidestep Adventures. It's Robert. I'm out here with Daniel again today, and today we're going to look at something pretty cool up here in the woods. Now this is supposed to be an old Native American mound that Daniel knows about out here in the woods of Georgia.
I don't know the Native American history of it, you know, which tribe or whatever it would be, but from what I've been told, and this goes back 3 to 4 generations, that they were always told that it is a Native American burial mound. I know there was a settlement within a couple hundred yards of here.
So this is going to be pretty cool to see. This is definitely some early Georgia history that's lost in the woods. I mean, a lot of the history we look at is from 100, 150 years ago, and this could be from like 2,000 years ago, you know, that sort of thing. So it's going to be really cool to see this. And to back up what Daniel is saying, in this undisclosed location, part of Georgia that we're in right now, there's actually several Native American mounds around this area that are also privately owned, like this one, and in the woods. So, I mean, I'm pretty convinced that that's what this is. And when we show it to you, we'll talk about it, how it's different from the rest of the land out here. But about to walk on up to it, so let's go. All right, so the land around us is pretty flat, and you can see we're going up a hill here, but at the top of this hill is where the mound is. And as you can see, they're logging out here right now. So
the morning glories. My grandmother had those on her fence in town at her house, and she always told the story like she'd love to see the morning glories come into bloom because she knows school's fixing to start back and the kids will be out of the house again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, so as we're coming up this hill, hopefully y'all will be able to tell on camera, there's the other hill, the mound, which is right there on top of this hill.
And there's almost like a ridge that goes around and separates it. Like it goes up, tears off, and there's another one on top. I hate that it's being logged, so it looks horrible, but you can actually tell the difference now in the land. When I was here several years ago, it looked like that. So it was hard to tell a difference. Drop this in his nose.
Let me borrow your snake stick real quick. Hopefully that startled him out of there.
You just woke him up. That's all you did.
So yeah, there's a definite descent change here. I mean, this is a lot more slopey.
You get to the top, you can see a big difference.
And you can see how the land starts sloping a great deal more up here now that we're at the mound, and then flattens out right there, and then has a more gradual slope down where the truck is.
Looking in these wash areas, maybe you'll see something.
Yeah. Pottery or a rock?
That's a rock.
Okay.
Actually, it's dirt.
No, it's dirt.
Oh. So it may have been pottery. Ooh, I'm out of shape.
All right, so we've made it to the top of the mound, and you can see it's relatively flat up here. As flat as you would expect it to remain after years of erosion and tree growth on top of it.
Logging and tree growth.
And look at that. We're higher up than it felt like when we were coming up here.
We're higher up than half the county.
Yeah. Yeah. So, now that I'm up here, this reminds me a great deal of the mound that I climbed up on top of on the video where I went to the Kalamoki State Park here in Georgia, which is somewhat in this vicinity, not terribly close, but close enough that it's relevant that there's another mound here. But coming up here, the sides are not as clean cut as they are at the Kalamoki mound, but that mound has been preserved and this one has been left in the wild. But standing on top of it, I get the same sort of feeling. It's about the same size on top of the mound as far as a walking space goes. And I'm trying to figure out if it could be about the same height. I think the one at Kalamoki Mound may be just a touch higher.
There's nothing else makes sense other than this being a Native American burial mound, because like I said, there's a couple more around here. There is a settlement not too far away from here.
And especially with the story that's been passed down from generation to generation that this is a Native American mound here. Because one thing that people don't realize is how important oral history is and how quickly it's disappearing. There's stuff that if it wasn't written down in a history book, it's only been told through oral history. Even in our country, it'll get lost, and this is a good example of it, that oral history has always said that this is a Native American mound. While it's not, you're not going to look at a map and see it marked that way. The local people who've always lived here have always called it that, and so that's another reason why I definitely believe that this is a Native American mound. And another thing is, like Daniel said just a minute ago, we're in one of the highest spots of the county right now, up on this hill, and this hill to me doesn't look natural. So I think this is very interesting. This is a really amazing piece of history right here. I'll go ahead and walk around the base with you guys and let you look down the sides. So you can see here where it's got a pretty serious slope there and then starts to smooth out going down. And then it's got a pretty serious slope going down on that side as well. Coming back to this end, it looks like maybe people have been driving up here to cut the trees, because there is this big pathway here. But again, it gives us a good look at the sloping side of the mound, which I hope you guys will be able to tell on camera. And then over here, where you can't tell as well because of all the tree growth, but same sort of thing, where it's just a gentle slope. And another thing is, all the sides are pretty smooth. A natural hill wouldn't, especially with all the erosion that happens out here, a natural hill wouldn't really be quite as smooth. And again, I know I'm repeating myself a little bit here, but I'm amazed just by how high up we are here looking over. I mean, you can really tell. I don't know how much you guys will be able to see on camera, but if you look behind the trees that are close, that's the horizon right there. I mean, this is pretty flat land. We're looking at treetops behind these trees throughout the rest of the county here. I'm kind of on the side of the mound to give a little bit better view of the peak of the mound. All right, well, Daniel, I appreciate you bringing me out here. This is a pretty cool find.
Yeah, man. It's something I've known about for several years, and finally got the chance to bring out here to document it. And like you always say, you know, hate to see history go to waste, good, bad, or indifferent. It's history. And I think we need to preserve it. So especially something like this is really cool.
And it's just incredible to think about all the work, you know, another culture that lived here, and all the work that, you know, took to put this mound here, took to build this mound by hand, you know, not done with excavators.
Yeah.
You know,
They didn't have a bucket brigade. I mean, they had hands and feet and primitive tools, and you know, maybe a deer skin as a carrying device, or yeah, I mean, just
yeah,
it's just unbelievable to think about. This was made by hand,
it really
literally
is.
by hand.
Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing another piece of Georgia history. This is much earlier than what we usually explore, but I think it's just really cool and really special to see this. And as Daniel mentioned a minute ago, definitely preserving this kind of history, even if it's just what I do on video, I think is very important. And being able to see this was amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.